program.
Good evening.
Mr. Auditor, welcome to the program and thank you for joining us
Good
again.
evening.
All right, Journalist Hangout starts now. Welcome back. In continuation of its onslaught against forex dealers over the current dollar crisis in Nigeria, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, arrested about 87 forex dealers in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, Lagos, and Kano. EFCC operatives stormed several forex trading hubs in Abuja and arrested 25 dealers. This is in addition to the 40 they arrested during a raid on the Wuse Zone 4 offices of the Association of Bureau de Change Operators, bringing the number of those arrested in the FCC to 65. Gentlemen, experts are blaming the current forex crisis on Naira redesign by CBN without plans to cushion the effect. This action taken by EFCC, is this the solution? Ikeo?
I don't think it's a solution, and I don't think it will have any meaningful impact on the problem we are facing at this time, that of dollar illiquidity. You can keep arresting Bureau de Change operators, malams by the roadside, providing dollars for those who need them. But it won't solve the problem of dollar illiquidity. Businesses need the dollar to bring in raw materials. People have their children in schools abroad. They need dollars to pay for school fees. People have domiciliary accounts. They can't access the dollars that they put there. You put a peg on how much people can take out of money that they legitimately earn. So it has really worsened the situation. The truth is, the dollar is a commodity that people, if I can use that word, that people are desperate to have. And there's just not enough for everyone because we are not earning enough. When we begin to earn enough, when the crude oil sales that accounts for the biggest chunk of foreign exchange coming into our country does not get used to pay for subsidy that is questionable in many ways, then we'll be able to divert the foreign exchange earnings to productive sectors, to the people who desperately need them. But the way it is now, people are forced to go after these people in the black market to look for dollars. Yes, you can accuse them of speculation, but that's the way it is. If the CBN brings dollars and distributes dollars to banks, and you have a dual exchange rate in our country, of course, some of the banks will divert some of this money to their friends who are Bureau de Change operators, and they will make so much money. If this evening in Abuja, it was exchanged for 875 to $1. In Lagos this evening, it exchanged for 845. Talking about just an hour ago. Now, the official rate is just a little over 400. If you get it at the official rate, you are likely to take it to the parallel market to sell. Look at the difference. They've been told that the best way to approach this problem is to narrow the gap between the official. If you want to keep the dual exchange window, narrow the gap between the official market and the unofficial market. When you narrow the gap, it no longer becomes an incentive for people who are just speculators who want to make money. We used to do this. But now the gap is widening.
So wide.
With the gap widening, anyone who has access to dollars from the official markets through the CBN would want to take it to the black market, where it will make double.
More money.
Double. So any piece of business where people can earn a huge slice of profit, you will almost kill them. They will still be involved in it. That's what we found ourselves in. Arresting this is not the first time the EFCC will go and arrest them. But has it guaranteed availability of dollars? The answer is no. The other day, the CBN governor, who has been coming up with all kinds of measures that are not working, decided, okay, we'll no longer sell forex to BDCs. From that moment, it went up. At the beginning of this year, the exchange rate, talking about the black market, was 565 to a dollar. Today, this evening, in Abuja, 875. You can see the decline over the past few months.
All right, Paul Dada, if the central bank claims to have stopped selling dollars to BDC, how then do these traders get this currency?
You heard BKO. You get the dollars from the bank, you sell to BDCs. And some of these BDCs are still licensed. They are licensed. Some of them are licensed. I think what the FCC is trying to do is to kind of stop illicit funds from getting to the BDCs, especially now that with this new policy, you know, the demand for dollars is high. But the way they are going about it is also very wrong. Unless arresting people indiscriminately and then harassing them even without a warrant is not the way to go. Yes, of course, we know that those who have illicit naira stashed somewhere, we want to quickly exchange it, because if they are not able to get dollars, the naira becomes useless when the window given by the CBN is over. But that is not, again, first of all, I think that the time given for the current naira to become illegal tender is too short. But that aside, if you want to get those ones who are using, who have earned their naira in a ill-gotten way, you need to liaise with these BDCs. Liaise with them, work with them. They have an association. They will work with you. But going after them Gestapo style and arresting them, they're not even taking their, it's not as if they're even seizing their dollars. Sometimes they just seize them, they just arrest them, release them, and harassing them. I don't think it's necessary.
All right then, Bikio, for the purpose of emphasis, what measures can government put in place to stabilize the forex market?
First and foremost, in my view, we don't need a dual exchange window, because it just encourages rent seeking. That's what I see. You cannot have that opportunity and say you don't want to exploit it. Many people, even in government, they take their dollars to these black marketers to exchange. They want to make money. I think it was Sanusi that said this some time ago, that some people just relax in their gardens, they will cross their legs, and they will bring dollars to them to exchange. You can easily be turned into a multi-billionaire.
Yeah.
If they make it available to you, yeah, this is dollars, go and change it in the unofficial market. You take it there, you make huge money. There are many ways by which people in government can turn the lives of their friends around. Is one of the ways is this making dollars available to them through the official window, and then they can take it to. You are going to see the kind of profit that banks in this difficult economic environment. You're going to see the kind of profits that banks will be declaring, because you give it to banks. Because you thought it would be easier for us, you give it to banks. You go to some banks, they will even introduce you to their own malam. Go to this. There's somebody outside, just outside that door. Go
Yes,
ahead.
they operate in front of banks.
Yes,
Yeah.
and they are the ones who position them there.
All right.
Even in this area, I've seen where it happens. They'll just tell you, oh, you need okay, there's somebody out there. You can't get it as much as you want in the banks.
Exactly.
And it's supposed to be easier.
It's easier,
through
yes,
the
at the
banks.
final
But
bank,
that's
yes.
not the thing. That's why there's so much pressure, and we are facing this problem. Even when we are through with the exchange of old currencies for new one, this problem will still remain.
All right. Thank you very much, Bikio. Thank you, Paul Dada. The bubble has finally burst for Nigerian socialite and internet sensation Ramon Olorunwa Abbas, popularly known as Hushpuppi. A United States court has sentenced Hushpuppi to 11 years imprisonment, but he will spend 9 years in prison because he had spent 2 years already in the U.S. prison following his arrest in Dubai in June 2020 in extradition over internet fraud and money laundering. Paul Dada, 2 years after, Hushpuppi now knows his fate.
Well, it serves him right. He's even lucky to get away with 11 years, But, it was true plea bargain. And, they also said he started behaving very well in prison.
He didn't waste the time of the court.
He didn't waste the time of the court. There was no way he was going to escape. It was a very tight case. This was a guy who was living very large, and people were celebrating him, a socialite and all of that. I think it should be a lesson. Number one, it's a lesson for the Nigerian justice system. We can't be waiting for the foreign courts to punish our criminals for us. We've seen people escape the long arms of justice in Nigeria. The arms of justice in Nigeria are not that long sometimes, like they are short, too short to arrest certain persons. It's a lesson for the Nigerian justice system. It's also a moral lesson for all of us Nigerians. Sometimes we celebrate materialism over morality. Even places of worship, we do the same thing. Imagine somebody, for example, who is maybe a technician, and of course, you know what a technician can earn. Suddenly, he begins to give a tithe of 1 million. The pastor will not ask him, well, how did your income jump from, if I give you a tithe of 1 million, it means you are now earning 10 million. How are you able to earn 10? The pastor will even give testimony, praise the Lord, our Lord is good. God has,
All the time.
God is good.
All the time.
When pastors are encouraging miracle and so-called miracle alerts and all of those things. So we need to understand that corruption does not actually pay. It's a lesson for us. It's a moral lesson it's a lesson for us, and it's a lesson for our justice system. So it serves him right. He's lucky. He's going to have 9 years. He's already been in prison for 2 years. So.
All right, Bikio, while you reacted, I'd also like to know the implication of this sentencing for the Abakari side of this whole saga.
There's not so much correlation, at least because Abakari will not be facing trial in the U.S. Our law says that if you are standing a criminal trial, then your effort to extradite you will fail because you must face that trial. That criminal trial in Nigeria, you must face it. It will be given priority over the extradition trial.
Yeah.
So at least Abakari will not be going to the U.S. to face trial. But the odds were stacked against him with Hushpuppi choosing not to waste the time of the court, just in exchange for lenient sentencing. I won't waste the time of the court. I'm going to admit to the crimes that I have committed. And, it's just similar to the Buhari matter, Once these guys have a vice-like grip on your matter, they don't just arraign people. I've told people, I said, why have they not arraigned Desiane? And they took her passport. Until they get to grips with the real matter and they can see a prima facie case, until they can build a prima facie case against you, whether you are Desiane or no any other person, they will not try to take you to court. But they don't want to waste their time. So, but once they take you to court, once it gets to that point, they've taken their time you are likely, look at all the people that they jailed with Buhari now. His secretary, girlfriend, lawyer, they jailed all of them. They jailed all of them, you know. So in the case of these guys, the fraud that he committed was about 169 billion naira. That's when converted from dirham, the currency of the UAE people, to naira. It amounted to 169 billion, involving 1.9 million victims. So this guy was a top of the range criminal, top of, is as good as they come when it comes to defrauding people. And you know, they used to even boast about his prowess. For some of our people, there's even no shame in defrauding people. You defraud people and you flaunt the money that you earned illegally, you flaunt it on social media. You want to be the best dresser around. Ah, this guy is a smart dresser, this and that. Dressing with innocent people's money. And the Americans were on this trail for some time, you know. Now, they finally sentenced the man. For criminals like him, those of them who are home, the lesson is, look, it may take quite some time, but justice will still be served. I want to see a situation in which our laws will be amended to truly punish 419ers, because these young people now are behaving like it is fashionable to be an advanced fee fraudster. They are not ashamed anymore. Their parents too are not ashamed. Their children bring cars home. An 18-year-old boy, 14-year-old boy bring a car, and the mother is happy to receive her. You even be showering her with prayers. You are a stupid parent. I mean, this is wrong. Today, everywhere, especially in the Southwest, I know that in the Southeast and everywhere too, they have their own ample quantity of criminals. But in the Southwest, it looks like, oh, 419 advanced fee fraud has come to stay.
All right, okay. Permit me to kindly put you on hold while we take Louis from Lagos. Hello, Louis.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening to you.
Yeah. How are you doing?
Well, very good. Please go ahead.
Okay, sorry, I just wanted to make a comment on regarding the statement. One of the people with you, the guy with you. But sorry, I need to say this. Sometimes we just believe pastor and all that. Someone says the pastor, the church doesn't even ask where they get this money. I think it is always Christian. And why people build mosques with money? So you don't generalize something like that when you have a country where you had many religions.
Thank you very much, Louis. Thank you for your contribution.
You wanted them to say imams,
Okay, you wanted me to say. Is that what you wanted? But maybe you wanted me to play the ostrich. This is what is going on.
But we've seen even pastors criticize fellow pastors.
Exactly.
I once led the team to interview Pastor Bakari, where I was talking about. Remember that when we were in the news, where he said, laying empty hands on empty heads.
I think
Pastor Bakari has said so. So even amongst them, many do not subscribe to this idea of just talking about prosperity, preaching prosperity over substance, and deceiving people that they can get rich quick. Anybody talking about the idea of miracle, alerts, and all that is just a scamster.
It's a scamster. Maybe the gentleman doesn't know that I'm a preacher myself. Yes, I am. I have a pastoral responsibility, and I will say the truth. I won't play the ostrich because it's happening.
It's happening.
We are not saying that if everybody...
And the more we shy away from
the Christian faith does not favor that. Those who do that are misrepresenting because that's not what the faith stands for. So if we say churches are doing it, we are not saying that every church does it or every Christian does. That is not Christianity. So saying that we should mention imams, or I don't understand what he means by that.
Well, it will depend on the context which you are talking about. If we are, which you are commenting on, if we are, yes, corruption permeates all the religions. On a good day, if we want to talk about corruption as it affects our religions, we will talk liberally about what's going on in the mosque and in the churches. But this time around, we are talking about laying empty hands and empty heads.
All right, Vikio. After years of brutality against innocent citizens, it seems policemen in Nigeria are now turning the heat on themselves. The Inspector General of Police, Usman Baba Al-Khali, has ordered the Osun State Commissioner of Police, Olaleye Faleye, to investigate alleged assault of a female inspector, Olorushogu Bamidele, by her divisional crime officer. This was after a viral video appeared on social media in which the female inspector laments the physical torture and beating inflicted on her in uniform by her superior. But first, let's share this video with you.
What is my offense? He now started beating me to the extent he naked me. He put me into naked. Look at all my chest, my hand, everywhere injured. It's Ajayi Matthew.
Because of what?
I don't know, because he asked me for out that I should be befriending him. I said, no, I'm a married woman. I cannot befriend you. He started blackmailing me with on evidence something that he is the one that is befriending me, which is not so.
This is terrible. In the presence of your co-workers.
Yeah, my writer was there, constable, 2 constables, and 10 civilians. After doing that, he now went inside and carry their gun. He said, want to gun me down. The civilian now take me out from the office. They said I should be running away. I said, no, if you want to kill me, you should kill me. They should help me, they should assist me. Ajayi want to kill me, or the Omu division.
No. All right, gentlemen, Section 356 of the Criminal Code Act says assaulting a police officer amounts to felony. But in this case, this is a police officer. What is this? What would be the case here?
It's dog affair.
Okay.
It's I don't understand why a policeman will go to this extent, especially when the woman is married. So this person is married and you want to sleep with her. She says no. And then you lost your head completely and decided to beat her up and even injure her. I mean, I've said it repeatedly, there are some people who do not deserve to be in the police. Some found themselves in the police because there was no other job. You know? We have policemen that we are proud of, we talk about them, but this one is a disgrace. And the IG ought to move quickly. The same way they used to parade policemen who torture civilians, who extort money and all that. You know, they will now, you will see the force PRO supervising the removal of their kids and all that, and suddenly they turn to ordinary civilian. If they can't do this, once they found this person guilty, then they are a bunch of hypocrites. You must parade him the way you parade those officers who beat up civilians. Because this person, the shame that this person has brought on the police is worse than that.
Yeah.
One, this woman is married. Why should you want to sleep with a married woman? Huh? That's bad enough. It's against our culture. Go get your own woman. That's bad enough. Then you now brutalize her because she will not cooperate. It's not by force now. I mean, it has to be, both of you must be consenting adults.
Absolutely.
Before that sort of thing can happen between you, it's not something that you force yourself on a woman. That means if he had his way, we even rape her. You rape her.
All right, Paul Dada, this is becoming very rampant because in February we had a report of this sort also in Enugu.
But I don't think those who do this kind of thing, I don't think they are normal. I think this guy must be nuts. I don't think it's okay. Because, one, first of all, why would you even want to sleep with her? And then she rejects your overtures, and the next thing is you start to torture her. You have to be mad to do that. I mean, you have to be abnormal. What I think should be done, you know, me personally, I even think prison is too good for people like this. Men
it depends on the prison.
No, yeah, I'm coming.
There are prisons in Nigeria and there are prisons. Some are very old.
I think rapists or those who are sexually assault women should have a special cage in a prison. You know, I coined a word some time ago. I said they are beasts. They should be in zoo, not in prison. There should be a rapist zoo. You know, I mean, this is a disgrace. It's a disgrace to his uniform. And you know, when you wield power, when you're in a place of authority, or you have power, if you misuse it, you are a beast. We need to know the kind of people we are getting into the police.
So I would like to know, because do you already have a specific law on workplace harassment in this country?
Well, I've not. I know that every responsible corporate organization frowns at sexual harassment in the workplace. It's something for which you can lose your job in a jiffy. I know also that the police will not tolerate that because the police is a responsible organ of government, responsible security outfit of government, and it's also bound by civil service laws and all that. So, because they are public servants, there is no law that permits the kind of irresponsible behavior that we've been told has happened between this policewoman and her boss. Looking at the way she's been battered, a lot must have gone on between them. You know, it just shows that there are still so many people without the requisite discipline that you need to be successful as a security operative. You have to be above board. You have to be above board. All kinds of crimes are committed by policemen. All kinds. All kinds. Some have connived with armed robbers before, you know, and they arrest. Some have even accompanied armed robbers or criminals to places of crime.
All right.
All kinds of. When I was editing the weekend tablet, we used to get all kinds of stories. There was a policeman that raped the wife of a suspect. Slept with the wife of a suspect. While that was begging, please release my husband, release my husband. He lured her into his office. He did not even lock the door. Somewhere around Agege, I will not mention the police station in particular. He did not even lock the door. So the junior police officer opened the door and found his oga on top of a suspect's wife.
All right, gentlemen.
So this is
There's a lot of mess out there.
No, it's a lot of nonsense happening.
A lot of mess out there. I don't know.
All right, let's quickly take a break. I'll be right back with journalist Hangout. Please do not go anywhere.
Despite attempts in some circles to downplay the achievements of this administration, I have no scintilla of doubt that history will be fairer and posterity will be kind to us. Those whose streets have been shortened and smoothened by good roads and bridges will remember the government that built those roads and bridges. Those who use the modern terminals at our airports will remember who built them. Those who ride on modern trains along Lagos-Ibadan, Abuja-Kaduna, and Itakpe-Warri will not forget those who made that happen.
This message is brought to you from the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
Good afternoon, sir. Please, I need a room to rent in your house.
Okay, where do you work?
I'm a nurse.
That means you won't owe me rent. Congratulations, young lady. You have yourself a house.
Well, thank you so much, sir. So, how much is the rent?
90,000 naira. Oh, but wait, where are you from?
I am from Akamata.
Akamata what? Akamata in my house? If you know how you got into my house, please get out right away. My spirit and that of Akamata people don't have anything to do together.
Sir, what have I done?
Your people from Akamata are known for bad things. That is what they represent, and you can't live in my house. Just get out right away.
What's going on?
Leave my house, young lady. Yes, our differences extend to our languages, culture, food, and even belief. But we are bound together by the cord of love. With one heart, with one voice, we will make Nigeria a hub of greatness, a place where the people live as one.
This message is brought to you from the Center for Democracy and Development, CDD, with support from the UK government.
Our country people, they talk with one voice. Them say na Asiwaju Bola Tinubu Lagos to the best state for Nigeria.
Today, many people all over Nigeria, they like to go Lagos, go settle down for business and better life.
All because of the good work when Bola Tinubu do.
People of Nigeria, as Asiwaju do for Lagos, now so him ready to do am for the whole country.
Vote Asiwaju Bola Tinubu for president of Nigeria. Vote Kashim Shettima as vice president. Vote APC, the party we get a broom. We want to.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. In politics, particularly during elections, parties and candidates devise means to undermine influence and chances of opponents. In an attempt to hurt the chances of the All Progressives Congress, APC, in the fast-approaching 2023 elections, the People's Democratic Party, PDP, has filed a suit before the Federal High Court in Abuja, seeking the sack of all National Working Committee members of the ruling party. In the suit, the PDP is contesting the legality of the process that produced the Abdullahi Adamu-led NWC. This is connected to a recent judgment of the Federal High Court, which nullified the nomination of Osun State Governor Boyega Oyetola and his deputy Benedict Alabi as APC candidates in the July governorship election in the state. As such, the PDP is praying the courts to void the APC NWC as well as all candidates produced by the party for the 2023 elections on the claim that they were produced in breach of the 1999 Constitution, the party's Constitution and Electoral Act 2020. BKO, do you see this suit by the PDP as an ambush, as a sort of ambush for the APC?
I know that if you can keep your opponents busy with this kind of litigations, you can distract them sufficiently so that they won't be able to focus on the prize. It can give you some advantage. But whether the PDP can go far with this kind of cases that they are filing all over the place is something that I cannot determine. The other day, they sued Asiwaju Bola Tinubu for using the surrogate vice presidential candidate, what we have now come to know as a placeholder. But the law is clear. As long as you do not replace that surrogate candidate after the window for replacement slams shut, you've not done anything wrong. And for me, I wasn't surprised that the case was dismissed
Thrown out.
because the candidate had not committed any offense. He exercised his right to replace the vice presidential candidate within the time that the law permits. INEC's guidelines stipulate that at so time, you can no longer replace. At so time, you are permitted to replace because you wanted to beat the deadline. And maybe later on, you discover that somebody was better. You are free to change him. As long as you did not do that outside
Of
the time frame, you've done nothing wrong. But they still went to court. And of course, the outcome was very predictable. The case was thrown out for lack of merit. We are seeing even political parties that on their own, they are factionalized. They are suing the ruling party. Of course, everyone thinks that one sure way to look for chinks in the armor of the ruling party. But for some of these cases, I believe that time will prove that the litigants have merely wasted their time and money, because the Supreme Court, in deciding Jegede versus INEC, already affirmed that it is not the person who submits the name of the validly nominated candidate that matters. It is the party that nominates candidates. The Supreme Court affirmed in that judgment, that close judgment that Akeredolu narrowly won at the Supreme Court, that it is not the person that submits that matter. Submission, INEC says the chairman and the secretary shall be the people to submit the names of candidates. But this is just administrative in nature. Once a candidate is validly elected, the Supreme Court says even a clerk of the party can present the name of the person who validly emerged from the Congress of the party, from the primaries of the party. If you are not validly nominated, even the national chairman is not permitted to go and present your name to INEC. Remember what happened with Yobe. Didn't the national chairman of APC try to claim that the Senate president was the candidate of the party? Of course he tried. But INEC said no. It is Machina, the primaries that produce Machina, that we witnessed. So what matters, the Supreme Court has already shown clearly that what matters, it has emphasized that what matters is for the primary to meet these stipulations in the electoral guidelines. Whether it is the clerk or anybody can submit a name. And one thing that has also not been proven to us in court, because when we had the Jegede versus INEC, because Malabuni was not joined, it proved fatal to the case of the opposition PDP. But the question is, can we say that party positions, party appointments are executive in nature? Because what the law says is that you can't hold two executive positions. Party positions, can we define them really as executive positions? And to simply build a case on a high court, a matter for a high court that the governor of Osun lost, a matter that has not been decided by the final court, which is Supreme Court. You can't anchor a fresh matter on that because you don't even know where this one will end.
Okay.
For me, trying to take away the candidacy of about 350 House of Reps members and 109 senators, and more than 700 House of Assembly members. I mean, in my view, is an exercise in futility. What they are asking for, I do not see the courts grant this. The courts will sack the Adamu-led APC, NWC, sack all of the candidates of the party, sack the presidential candidate. I don't see how a court will grant that kind of...
All right, Paul Dada, do you share the same view with BK?
I share the same view. In fact, I smiled when I saw the topic. You know, I without prejudice to what the court will decide, I don't want to sound as if I'm speaking the mind of the judge. But I can still say that I am almost sure that it's an effort that will fail. I think PDP is wasting its time more than any other party's time with this. We have less than 4 months to general elections. PDP should concentrate on putting its house in order and concentrate on marketing its candidate. You know, for you to think that you can just weaken a party, you know, a party by going through this means, for me, it's nonsensical. It's nonsense. It doesn't make sense to me. You are already a divided party. You are already going to that election on a weak platform because you are now weak, given the recent events in that party. How do you want to go around the problem you already have? What are you doing to solve it? Again, I also see some level of hypocrisy here. A party that even the legitimacy of the party chairman is being questioned. You know, questioned in the sense that some people are even saying that their rules, their constitution, the PD constitution says that you can't have the presidential candidate and the national chairman come from the same zone. That's already been contested. You have not solved that one. So what you are trying to do now is to be a busybody in other men's matters. You're trying to, you know, go to court, a case that does not concern you, which means you want to win by all means. But I think what the PDP should be doing now is to position itself, to wrest power from the APC. There are so many things to criticize the APC for. If there are certain things you can criticize the APC-led government for, and you'll be right. So those are the things they should concentrate on and give us, they should articulate the alternative programs they have. That's what they should be doing. They should be convincing Nigerians. APC came out and gave us the timetable of his campaign, the schedule. We have seen it. Well, that's what we want to see we want to see that from PDP. Let's see what PDP has to offer Nigeria. Not going behind not trying to get the abuse. Not in the end, the court might even see it as an abuse of his process and throw away the suit.
All right, BK, let's look at another twist to this. There is this concept of medisum interloper in law. Does PDP has the right to institute such case against another party? Before you answer that, BK, please let's go for this commercial break. I'll be right back.
All I do is win. I wake up, I win. I close my eyes, and I win. We got a emergency, girlfriend. Keep up on me, come on, let's go. Keep winning till the world stops spinning. Independent women, come on, now let's get in. I'ma keep winning till the world stops.
Wow, you look great. Did you just come from the salon?
Darling Superstar, braids that stay salon fresh no matter what.
Behind every high-performing organization is a clear strategy, an efficient process, and a productive team. At Crosstie Solutions, we strongly believe that every organization deserves respect at the top. And that is why we focus on improving business performance through its people, process, and strategy. The core of our solution is centered around people development and management consulting. Since our inception in 2013, we've worked with over 40 organizations and have trained well over 4,500 employees within the government agencies, FMCG, oil and gas, media, banking, financial services, and education. Let's work with you today to improve your business performance. To book a free consultation with us, please visit www.crosstiesolutions.com or call 091 609 01017.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Before we went on that break, we were talking about PDP's suit against the Abdullahi Adamu-led NWC. BQ.
I think there is an amendment now. A friend of mine was drawing attention to it, that if a candidate from a rival party was not qualified, for example, or there were some things that were done in breach of the law, you can actually sue. Okay. You know? So I'm not going to say that they are, in this case, interlopers, because even in Benue, I think the PDP has decided to even challenge the candidate of the APC, you know, in that state. So I think there's an amendment to the Electoral Act that permits this kind of action to be taken. I don't have all the facts, but I was told by a friend of mine that there's an amendment to the law which allows them to sue the opposition party over the conduct of their primaries, for example. You know, in the past, that was not allowed in law. But I'm more concerned about where this whole thing leads them. It's like the PDP is chasing what amounts to red herring, just looking for opportunities here and there to file some suits against the APC in the hope that maybe maybe one of those cases maybe to win one of those cases. But the same way that he lost the placeholder suit when he decided to sue the Labour Party presidential candidate and the candidate of the APC, I'm sure this one is headed in that direction as well. And what to perhaps even worsen things for them is if all of these 109 senatorial candidates of the APC and about 350 House of Reps candidates decide to apply for joinder. How are you going to handle? Because you are trying to take my position, take my candidacy. I have a right to ask to be joined in the suit. So if all of them apply for joinder,
as an
how are they going to handle such a situation? It's, they should just focus on the
That's what I said.
The conduct of the election. I mean, on their preparations for the election. Campaign vigorously. Tell Nigerians that you are a better party than the APC, you know. So if you fail to do that, you are chasing shadows.
All right, let's take Ibrahim from Kaduna. Hello, Ibrahim.
Hello, good evening, madam, and good evening to your two guests over there. I am Ibrahim from Kaduna. In fact, this is quite interesting topic this evening that you cited us. You see, I don't know why some people do just come out with some important show that is not really valid. You are not belonging to that party, and you say you are going to sue that same particular party to a court. So, to me, really, it's quite understood. All these are beautiful of democracy. Is that clear? But I hope that this very point, this very case is not going to see the light of the day.
All right.
Mr. Babajide and your other guys there. They know it. I believe they are going to analyze it for us, and this is what we want to be playing out for us to hear and see. You see, some people elsewhere, because they know where they are going, but they just want to do something that let them just hear us. You know, at the
thank
end
you very much, Ibrahim. Thank you very much for your contribution.
You see, the national chairman of the party and his NWC members were products of the APC convention. The convention is the biggest decision-making organ of the party. It's stronger than the neck. And whatever decisions are ratified by the convention, it stands. So the convention ratified the election of Adamu and others. So it wasn't even it wasn't May Malabuni that organized the convention.
I think what they are saying is that May Malabuni organized that. You know, it was the one that handed over to the NWC. It was his administration that conducted that election. And May Malabuni, according to May Malabuni, was holding dual position, so it wasn't a valid, you know. But to me, that argument is very convoluted. It doesn't apply.
The convention ratified once the convention ratifies a decision, it's the biggest decision-making organ of the party. It stands. It stands. It's bigger than NEC. It's bigger than NWC.
All right.
So,
finally,
I don't think at the end of the day you cannot say that it was Memala that delivered the convention of the party.
Anyway, this kind of frivolity goes with the territory. It's the electioneering season, and it will fizzle out. You'll be surprised that, or it shouldn't surprise you that in the next 4 years also you have all sorts of frivolous court cases. You know, it goes with the territory. For me, it's laughable. Just laugh.
all right, Biki, on a general note, we now have a task force to hear pre-election matters because of the huge number of cases we have. What does this tell? What does this say about our democracy?
No, it underlines the determination of the judiciary to dispense with these cases as quick as possible. Our political parties lack the capacity to resolve even easy matters amongst themselves. Every matter they want to take to court. So the courts have become more and more busy over the years because these people simply can't resolve what should be family affairs. They can't resolve all these issues. They must get to court. Look at the PDP, for example. I was reading that they've suspended, is it expelled Adebutu? You know? And that is supposed to be the governorship candidate of the party by of a faction. So why can't politicians even sit together and resolve issues without a resort to the courts? So the courts, there are so many cases before our courts, and I'm not surprised that now they are looking for ways to just dispense with those matters so that people can go for election. Look, despite the fact that the period for campaign was extended by the new Electoral Act, you can see that as we speak, in some states, they do not know who is the candidate yet because the courts have stopped some primaries, cancelled some primaries, and ordered fresh rerun. Now, those reruns have not even taken place. An election is starting in February.
Less than 4 months.
You know? So it means that even if they give some of these are politicians, even if they give them 1 year, they will still not get things right. Courts will still be deciding matters for them. Primaries will still be held less than 4 months to election. It's really sad.
All right. Support Dada. Thank you very much for coming on the program today. Bikio, thank you so much for sharing your insights on the program today. And thank you very much for watching. That's all on Journalist Hangout. Join us tomorrow for another episode of the program. You can watch the repeat broadcast of this episode tonight at 11. Join us on Sunday from 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. for Journalist Hangout on Sunday. We are on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I am Olajumoke Olatunji. Bye for now, and God bless Nigeria.
love fried food, seasoned fried fish, French fries. But cooking fried food sometimes feels like going to war. Different cooking pans, hot oil spills, lots and lots of oil, meaning added calories, and cleaning is a disaster. Scraping, what a chore. But not anymore.